and it begins. So I kind of teased this in the last, I want to say the last 2 videos really that we've put out. The one about the convicts and the one about just kind of the update of the fish room and the racking of the 329s. And yes, I can already imagine them probably getting comments of like, oh, that one's off center from the rest. Yes, but I need the brine shrimp. I want the brine shrimp hatchery right here for the time being. So until I build something to mount it off of these 2 brackets and then kind of hold that stuff in, and even then I need somewhere for the stuff, the 29 staying there. It probably will not be stocked by the time I do all of this, so then they will be moved down. But today, you can already see some of the stuff going on over here. Today, what are we doing today, you may ask? Well, probably started in the thumbnail, and also I've got all this PVC. That was probably really loud on camera. We are creating a central air manifold. What does that mean, Todd? Well, that means I'm gonna have PVC going all around my fish room on up their area. And basically, it is going to allow me to have a linear piston air pump. That's the one that at least I am choosing to use. Yes, there is other versions like a blower or I'm trying to think of what it's called. I don't even know. Diaphragm. There we go. I got there in the end. So I could have a diaphragm. I could have a blower. I don't want either of those because those tend to be louder and also have more failures. So linear piston air pump is what I'm going for. So it's already on the way, but I want to get the infrastructure set up so that way when it gets here, I set it up, I do the last little bits, I plug it in, and we are off to the races. Now, something I cannot do, unfortunately, today is I cannot have it set up with the actual taps in it because I ordered the air pump, some more airline tubing, much needed, the taps, and also the valves. So I've got all of that on its way, but it's on its way. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna take these nifty clips, we're gonna take the PVC, we've got elbows, we've got T's, we've got couplings, we've got this thing, we've got it all, and what we're gonna do is we're going to set up the infrastructure and then finish the video out once we actually get said air pump and the other items. I'm just looking at the mom of the angels and she's like picking up some of the fry right now, and I think they're actually, whoa. They moved the fry for some reason. What? Look at this. They, if it would stop focusing on the gorgeous angelfish, let me, let me move my ladder back over here and excite a bunch of stuff. But yeah, look, they moved all of the wigglers over to this leaf, or at least a large majority of them, because they were over on this leaf, but now they're over on this leaf. Yeah, and they're all moving and doing good. There might be a few that aren't, but that's to be expected. Yeah, and then she's moving them over. I wonder what prompted the move. So odd, so odd. And yes, the aquarium is a little bit dirty. Algae is good for fry. I like it being in there because I'm gonna be feeding baby brine every single day, and I don't know, it's just a nice little thing. Why not? And also infusoria can feed on it. It's just, why not? That is not what I want. Let me get my tripod. The first thing that I want to do is I want to kind of go through how I'm doing the manifold system and kind of show this off. My dream, I say dream, but one of my finishing touches to this room is going to be painting everything that's not painted that probably should have been painted, but to keep costs down I didn't paint. So like the cinder blocks and the wood, at least the part of the wood that we can see, everything in that regard will be painted. Yeah, so that'll be its own journey when we get to it. However, the reason I mention that now is because the PVC I'm going to spray paint, so that'll be fun, but I think it'll look good. But yeah, so let me get the tripod and then we'll go from there. Okay, so basically how this works is, like we talked about, the room has the PVC piping above it. Now, there's gonna be a linear air piston pump. And basically how that works is, imagine this little thing is a piston, and basically when it goes back, it's sucking in air. When it pushes, it's just pushing air, like a car engine, how it's like pushing air and moving things. But car, of course, is a combustion engine. For this, it's just moving a piston back and forth and being able to produce that air. It's going into the manifold, and then I'm going to be able to drop the lines down. Now, I've already done one of these, and I'm going to do the other one, but basically this is just a coupling, and it's got this barbed adapter. Now, something that I was told, and so far seems to be completely true, is that these little bits here, these blue ones, this company, for example, yeah, Blue Twister, male adapter. I don't even know what company it is. The Mosaic Group Inc. I genuinely don't know what company it is, but basically these blue ones, they're good enough, and they're way cheap. Like this Lasco fitting was 50 cents, and these were like maybe $1. So basically you get a coupling, and you get a FIP. This is something that I learned. I didn't know what FIP stood for because I just hadn't heard it before, but you get an FIP coupling, and it's a slip by FIP, and this is 1 inch, and then basically you take this and it slides on, and it just twists in. Now, one thing that I'm doing, just to go above and beyond, and I encourage you to do, is I'm cementing everything, but also all of the threads, which is just these 2 bits, is I'm Teflon taping it. So basically you get this Teflon tape. This is, I don't know, PTFE thread seal tape. Again, don't know what the brand is. It's dirt cheap. Go get it. But basically you just put it onto the threading, and you wrap it and wrap it and wrap it. So I'm gonna do that very quickly. You don't have to do a lot, but basically this will just make it even more airtight. Like, yes, the threading will do good, but being able to do this will just give you a little bit more peace of mind. And like I said, we are going to be, what is it called? Cementing everything together. I had some cement, but I decided to just pick up some more of the primer and then the PVC cement, just because from my understanding and from what I've looked into, and then again, you just thread it in and it's fine. That Teflon tape really helps with just making sure it is watertight. But basically, from my understanding, at least, and it makes sense, the air is going to be a little hot, and then with the air, maybe a little bit of movement, eventually the PVC pipes just kind of wiggle, and then they could fall off, especially the connection point of this, where it's kind of just like a hey, we're here, and then it like wiggles and then falls off. Now, I am gonna be here for a couple of years, and then we are going to move the fish room when we inevitably move into a new place. So then you might ask the question of, and I just want to make sure this is very tight, you might ask the question of, well, what about when you need to move? Well, I'll just unscrew all the PVC, I'll make a couple of cuts with the PVC cutters, and then when I get to the new place, I can just use couplings and do the same thing over again, because PVC glue is not like typical glue. It's actually binding the PVC together, more you know. But basically then what happens is we take this 3/4 of an inch inner diameter, and it's a 1 inch outer diameter, just clear vinyl tubing, and this threading is going to go into the tubing. I'm not going to push it all the way in now, but basically this is going to connect to the actual, well, it's going to connect to a coupling, and then the coupling is going to connect to the whatever it's called, the linear piston pump itself. So that's how you're going to do it, and this is what connects it to the manifold. So that's kind of like your adapter. And then in order to make sure those things don't slip off, I do have this right here, and it'll go over and I'll tighten it down, so on and so forth. Now, the astute among you may be asking yourself, well, wait a second, you said 1 piston pump, but then you showed that you have 2 of these, and if this is the adapter, what's going on? I have 1 coming, and I'm only going to be doing 13 drops right now. I'm actually doing 12. I think, yeah, no, I'm doing 12, and I have 3 left over. 3 of the valves that I'm putting into the PVC, and then 3 of the valves that are staying towards the tank, because basically how it happens is the PVC, you have a valve that goes into the PVC, and then you have another valve for finer adjustments down below near the tank, so you can adjust the air a little bit more fine that way. But I'll have 12 drops. The PVC, or not the PVC, the what is it called? The linear pump that I have, linear piston air pump, I keep forgetting that. That is rated for 47 liters per minute, I think, or I don't think it's per second, I think it's per minute, 47 liters of air per minute. You do about a liter a gallon, depends on how deep it's going into the tank, so on and so forth. I only have 12 drops. That's near a fourth of the capacity of this thing. Eventually though, I'm gonna have another X amount of drops in other places. Like, you gotta think all of these 29s will have drops. I'm gonna double up the sponge filters in some of these aquariums just for redundancy's sake. I'm also gonna have some potential, like the air stone that I had in the 75 tilapia that's still in there. I could feasibly run a line to that, and that might be my 13th drop, and I might actually do that now and just kind of have that drop there and ready to go. So it's one of those things of, I like the ability to expand and also redundancy. That's why I want to have a second one. So they're both going to be going, and I might have like a bleed off valve somewhere so I don't overpressure the thing, which I doubt would happen. But basically, I like it for redundancy's sake. You can always scale up. Sometimes you can't scale down. Most times you can't scale down. So that'll be that. But I think that's just about it that we can go over here. We've got the clamps. I guess real quick, pop open a wall mount. But basically how this is gonna work is this wall mount is going to fit over the PVC, and it's going to affix it to the wall. I just have to find all of the studs and where I'm gonna affix them to. But other than that, it's pretty simple. Yeah, otherwise let's just get on into it. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. I think it's like 16 feet this way. So I kind of need to go from that end of the garage to this end of the garage. So I know I'm gonna use, I should say, I know I'm going to use a 10-foot piece of PVC just on this wall alone and on that wall. And I think even to connect them, it's gonna be 10 foot, if not over 10 foot. So we're gonna start by getting a 10-foot piece with an elbow and basically centering the elbow pretty much like right here where it's in line with the tanks. And then just starting from there, getting the ladder, putting it up here, finding a stud, which especially if I'm gonna be starting right here, there's gonna be studs either side of this door. So it's gonna be really easy to affix the one side. But yeah, so we're gonna do that. We're also going to, like I said, paint everything. So I've got this spray paint ready. I'm using Krylon Fusion just because A, I have it on hand, B, it's really good with PVC pipes, and C, in case anything chips off and falls into the tank, I know it's going to be aquarium safe. So it gives me peace of mind. But we're gonna work on that. Let's get started. Okay, so I thought this was pertinent just in case anyone is watching this as kind of a how-to of, hey, this is how you do it in Air Manifold or something like that. So when you're doing PVC, you need the cement and the primer. Some people just do the cement, to my understanding. I bought the 2-pack. I'm gonna use the 2-pack. I'm gonna use what I paid for. But you know, that has a tight fitting, but when you do the cement, it actually like binds it together. So it's going to take the two parts and bind them together. So you want it to be relatively clean of an area. You don't want it to be all gucked up. And then you want to start, you want to start with the primer. So all you do is you take said primer, you go ahead and for the pipe itself, you're gonna go around the outside of the pipe, and then for the, not pipe, for the, for like the joint, so in this case an elbow joint, you're gonna go on the inside. You know, it makes sense. Like, hey, you should probably do this where the contact is gonna be. Then, for the cement, you do the same thing. So, you can let the primer dry for a second, yada, 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 so on and so forth. I believe on here the directions, cut the end, use suitable applicator, apply thoroughly. Oh no, that's right, you don't want to wait for it to, that's right, I'm glad I read that. You don't want to wait. you want to do it. See, I'm human. You want to do it while the solvent is wet. So I'm going to go ahead and get that all done. Do the same thing for the pipe without making too much of a mess, if at all humanly possible. And then what you do is you take it, you push, and arguably the most important part, you do at least a half turn. So that way, if when you're using the brush, you miss anything, that half turn is going to basically save any of your screw ups. So if you accidentally don't do it the right way and you don't coat everything, then beautiful. And I mean, it's already been like, what, only 5 seconds? I'm not moving this PVC. That is there. This is 1 unit now, so I better have done it right, basically. And I have, because again, this is, I think, like 15 and a couple of inches from point to point. So I laid this on the ground, made sure of that. I'm gonna do this twice, one for this wall, which is the door wall, one for that wall, which is the peg wall. And this is gonna go as high up as I can, really. I'm gonna do X amount of inches from the top, but that way I can just drop it in case I get like higher tanks, or if I move the whatever around, that it's not gonna be an issue. But yeah, so that's how you connect them. So I'm gonna do this again, and I'm gonna take these outside and put them on my sawhorses, spray them down with paint, take to the next thing. One side note, because it actually just happened with this one, that's important to note because it did happen, so hopefully this doesn't freak you guys out. Not saying it freaked me out, but it was just kind of like, oh yeah, that's right, because I did it inadvertently with the first one, but then just kind of didn't on this one. Hold it in place, because it will work itself back out. I don't know how. I guess just because of pressure, it's going to, you know, try and work itself out and pop back out. But when I squeezed and twisted this one, it shot back out about a centimeter, so I had to smack it back down real quick to get it in lock. But now it's good. So now we can take these outside and spray paint them and be one step closer. Okay, so the PVC pipe is here, to say the least. So it has been painted, and also this side has the section that you saw of the what's it called, the elbow, and the other side has the coupling. So now what we need to do is I need to get up here, and I've already done this, but just to show you all how to do it. Oh, you hear the beep? That's where the stud is. And luckily this garage, I don't want to say it wasn't a finished garage, just maybe the finishing was a little to say the least. So yeah, I can see where studs are pretty easily, because you can see kind of where they painted over certain sections, or where the seams in the drywall pieces are cut. So yeah, it's okay. But hey, this isn't my house, I'm not buying it, so who cares? So basically what I'm going to do now is A, try not to fall off, B, I'm going to get this into a workable position to where I'm going to be able to basically set this down, and it actually looks like this isn't that bad, and then I can have this up here, and of course I have the rope in front of it, and just basically I'm going to attach the PVC pipe up here with one of these clamps. Now I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me as much as you all probably want to. I'm not going to make it in real time. This is all going to be time lapsed, and yeah, this will be family fun, so to say. So yeah, we'll get this done. Now, as glorious as that footage may have been, I don't know, I haven't seen it yet. I was too focused on hanging this. We do have 2 of the rungs up, so now I just have to continue this entire process. And yes, I will have to do this on this side as well. So that'll be fun. But yeah, so basically we've got this up, but it's really just as simple as getting up there and putting the putting those screws in and going from there. I don't know if those screws are long enough, so I'm gonna switch to different screws, but I wanted to put that second one up there just so that way I could go in and kind of like a tire, do like one from this side, one from that side, then boom, boom, and kind of replace the screws with some different length screws. But yeah, so I'm gonna get that up. We'll do some measuring, we'll get some things situated, but basically it's gonna wrap all the way around on the wall on all three sides. And then here, it's going to shoot directly over, but because of the clearance, it's actually not going to be connected to the top. So we're going to have to rely on 1, 2, and 3. There might be a little bit of sag, but also that's fine. It doesn't really matter. As you saw, there was a little bit of sag with this, but it's gonna have the connection straight over, so I think it'll be fine. I really don't think it'll sag that much. But hey, you guys are going back on the tripod, and I won't see you until I have a new update. And once again, we find ourselves in the fish room way too late. It is currently 10:53. Well, that's not an important email, never mind. But yeah, so we find ourselves back in here, another late night, and we're basically done. So we'll go ahead and flip this bad boy around and we'll show you where we started. So you guys were here for this, and then it goes all the way down above the 75s, hits an elbow, goes across, hits an elbow, goes across, and then hits an elbow, and here it is. Yes, there is a little bit of sag, and I do believe that there is a beam right there, so I think I am gonna actually beam it up, but we'll see. I'm still gonna play around with it. I'm probably not done for the night. I'm probably gonna check and see if I can put it up there, because we do have enough screws to do so, and then I can just run and get some more tomorrow. But then I made a decision, and I'm very happy with it. So this is going to be the port, and I'm actually gonna move this stuff, and I swear I clean these shelves, and then, I don't know, some gremlin comes in here and just messes with them. But I'm gonna move some stuff from these shelves and put it into some other storage, because this is really holding nothing but like a bowl and a couple of balls. So I'm gonna move that. But this is the port, and then I'm gonna have the one that I'm getting soon right here, and then I'll move that box and put another one there. So I'll be able to put them up there. But that hole right there, you might think, wow, you have a hole in your loop, that's not smart. And yes, it isn't. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go get a cap tomorrow, and I'm gonna take a piece of PVC, and I'm going to put the cap on the PVC and then cap that joint. Now, why I'm gonna do that is because that already now has built-in redundancy, so I can simply just go in, and when I get the second linear air piston pump, because if you guys don't know, you guys, gals, and anything and everything, if you guys don't know, it's kind of expensive, to say the least. I think it's like, I think it was 200 and some odd. Let me go ahead and see, actually. I do believe, I am still on this website, so I can get you the exact pricing, if I click the right things here. But it is a single linear air piston pump, single pump and single piston, and it's $229.99 at the time of me recording this, which you guys seeing this is gonna be months from now, and who knows if it's gonna be inflated even more than that. But I'm digging it. It's kind of cool. I'm just kind of looking around the fish room, and I just see it there. I'm going to address the sag that is currently going on right here. But other than that, I think we're pretty good. So this video is going to continue, and you know, as soon as I get it, I don't know when I'm getting it, because I typically feverishly look after whatever it's called. I feverishly look after the the tracking ID. So I told myself, no, I'm gonna give it 2 days, I'm gonna wait, and I'm gonna check the tracking ID tomorrow. I just don't want to keep looking at it over and over and over again. But as soon as we get it, we'll plug it in, and then we also have the 3/16 drill bit, so we can start drilling into the pipe itself and running the leads. I'm gonna start like planning them out. I think what I'm gonna end up doing, just kind of to show you, over here, I think I'm gonna do 2 on either side of the 55, or 3 on either side of the 55, and then run those 3 down. So it's like the 2, 2, and 2. I think that will be pretty cool. And then on this side, I guess I can show you from the back. On this side, I'm probably gonna run 1 and 1 to the 20 gallons, and then 2 and actually 3 down to the 75 down here, because it has the bubbler in it. Worst case scenario, I just take the bubbler out. And I say bubbler, it's like the Airstone disc. Worst case scenario, I just take that out and don't use it. But there's a bunch of sloppy in there right now, so while we've got it, might as well use it, and it's already in the tank, so there's no use in not using it. So yeah, we're gonna run that. And then over here, I'm probably just gonna do 1, 1, and 1, I think, for now at least. And then who knows with the 75s, and then who knows with the tanks that'll go over there. And yeah, I don't even want to think about all of the 10s that are gonna be here. Yeah, because I'm probably gonna end up having to like run. Oh, I don't even know. I genuinely, I don't even know, because there's going to be a bunch of 10 gallons here, 14 to be exact, and I have to, A, the manifold works best in a loop, B, I didn't want PVC going across here, so it's kind of just one of those situations where I'm probably just going to run air lining over the top and then down and then over to where it needs to be. Who knows? That's a problem that I'll get to eventually. Maybe the 10s don't even go here. Maybe I completely redo the room for the 3rd iteration. Who knows? But yeah, I'm excited to say the least. And you know, I might not even have all 14 10s in here. I might calm it down and have a lot less and just store the 10s for the time being. But I've rambled on a lot. This is probably gonna be a very long video, which, you know, so be it. You guys want to watch it, you watch it. You don't, whatever. But yeah, I'm excited. And in true Toyko fashion, I'm also recording next episode, because next episode is already pertinent because something fell through but then unfell through. Just watch next episode and you'll figure it out. I'm pretty stoked. It's going to be pretty exciting. But yeah, it's going to be good to go. But now we just wait. Oh, wow. Wow, Todd. It looks kind of dark in your house right now. Is there like no light coming in from outside? Is it maybe late at night again? Yes. How astute of you. As you can see, there is no light outside whatsoever, because it's like 9:30. So sat there and went, I got nothing to do tonight. I can actually sit down, take care of some personal stuff, maybe play like a round or 2 of Halo, and go to bed early. Well, life has other plans sometimes for you, because all of a sudden I got a notification on my security system. It's like, hey, front door. I was like, what? Why is there something at my front door? Well, what was at my front door? It's almost like I brought the tripod in here just for this occasion. What was at my front door? Well, I saw a nice lady drop this off at my front door. And what is this, you may say? Why are we in manual focus? There we go. Well, what is this, you may ask? Well, this is a 300-foot spool of airline tubing. So this, and if you own a fish room, or really if you're just a aquarium hobbyist, I recommend that you buy a large amount of airline tubing. Why not? I've already went through this in the couple of remodels that I've done of this fish room and the many other tanks that I've done, yada, 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 so on and so forth. You guys don't care about that. And then I went, you know what? Let me go check my email, and let me go check the actual mailbox. And sure enough, this is being recycled anyway, so it doesn't matter. Wow, they found like the perfect box for this. And sure enough, it's here. So, oddly enough, I say oddly enough, I should say luckily enough, it's just the blower. So what we're gonna do is I'm going to quickly plug this in and then just see if it works. And then what I'll do is I will put it up there and run the connection. But the actual things themselves, the valves, those don't get here till tomorrow. So I still don't have a lot to do, but I'm gonna open this real quick and then we'll go from there. But hey, it's gonna be a long video. Stay tuned. Okay, so here is the magic. So this is the Mito Blower LA45C, a linear piston air pump. Now it's got rubberized feet, which is really nice to take away from and dampen the noise. And then if you remember the like whole like coupling and barb fitting thing that I showed off, that is because we have this. Now what is this, you may ask? This, you actually put these little clamps on here, and with these clamps, you fit them over. Oh my gosh, that is a tight fit to say the least. You take it and you put this one right here, and that is going to dampen the vibrations. And it comes with a nice little clamp as well. This also comes with a clamp, and I'm gonna put a union in there. But first, I want to test it to make sure it works, because wow, that would be gut-wrenching if it didn't. Also, I'll get that in a second. Just kind of a quick little update for you all. I did something. So I believe this is the video. This is what happens when you record two, and in Toyco fashion, actually 3. So stick around for the next 2 videos. But this is what I was talking about. So I took a 2x4, and I actually had to shave a little bit off the back of it. But this is now hanging, so I can free up this space and put that there. And the thing that I said everyone was probably going to complain about this not being in tandem, hey, it's in tandem now. So hey, you're welcome, I guess, is the best thing to do. And I went out to Lowe's and I got a plug and made a little cap point for up there. So let's go ahead and put you back where you need to be, and let us plug this in and see. Here. Kind of smells weird. I don't know what it is, but that air smells weird to me. But hey, it works. So let's get the rest of it set up. Let's get it up there for the time being, and yeah, well, let's do it. Okay, so it's up there. We went ahead and we moved the basket, and we're going to connect it from there to up there. It's a little inlet. So a couple of things. Number one, I do have these worm clamps, these worm gear clamps, I believe is what they're called. So I will be attaching those to the rubber, and I have this, I want to call it a union, but it's not. It's a coupling. So it's a coupling that'll go into the rubber and also into one of the ends of this 10-foot pipe of 3/4 inner and 1-inch outer diameter. Is the, there we go, now it'll focus, is the tubing that I'll do. So just wanted to kind of cut in for a second and show you all that. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get this all set up, and yeah, just kind of hope for the best. I'm not gonna time lapse this because I'm gonna be right in front of the ladder, and no, you don't get that. So yeah, let's get it hooked up finally. Okay, so it's done. So I cut the clear vinyl tube, and I thought at first that this was kinking, but it's not. It's just because of how this elbow is formed. There's actually no kink here, and it's got a perfect flow through. So I guess just how that's formed, but it's up, everything's tight. And the craziest thing about this is that I plugged it in and I got scared because I genuinely for a second was like, wait a second, is it not working? It's plugged in right now. So let's get a little bit closer. And of course there's a train outside, so. Like, you are right next to this and you can't hear it. and I don't hear any hissing around the fish room. So yeah, I mean, with all that said, I am gonna unplug it. But with all that said, I think it's a win. Just saying. I've never had a linear air piston pump, so was a little bit worried. Definitely think we can chalk this up to a W, to say the least. The only thing that I don't know is how the manifold is holding up. So tomorrow, when we get the actual valves, that'll be kind of the tester, and we'll see. We will see. But until then, the night's finished, and it's only 9:58. So it only took about 30, 45 minutes, if that, and a lot of it was just, I had to run the clear vinyl tubing underneath some water to make it a little bit pliable and such. But yeah, tip though, 2 tips in the middle of this video. 1, if you're an aquarist, get yourself some PVC cutters. They're like 12 bucks at your local box store. 2, the thing that I told you earlier, get bulk air supply. 3, don't lie to yourself and say that you're gonna clean your fish room 24/7 and then not do it, especially when the circumstances are that you keep changing things in the fish room. Cause like, look at how open it looks right now. That's because if we walk this way, hey Zuko, and we keep walking this way, and it's gonna be really dark in here, but here, I'll disrupt the Oscars just for you all. But if we look, here's all my tanks, and here's my tanks. So, wow, that's really like destroying how I look. And here's the Oscars. You can obviously see albino. The other one's down here. Also, just a side note, look at how weird the pleco in here is eating the cucumber skin. Speaking of which, that pleco, hopefully I caught that on camera. It was over there and it just shot around, freaked out, and went to the log. It loves that log, but I'm rambling. I thought the Oscar was like hurt or something. It's not. But I'm rambling. We're gonna end this and pick it up tomorrow when we get the valves and such. Woo! Day 3, back in the fish room. And first and foremost here, let's, just for ease sake, let's turn y'all around. Let's see, that's better. Yeah, those are all fry that are just chilling up there. Also, a little tip, if you have algae on the side of your glass, and maybe I was a little heavy-handed today with the feeding, but brine shrimp kind of cling to the algae on the glass, which is kind of cool. Just as a, hey, if you've never done it before, here's a tip. There's the tilapia. But guess what? Stuff came in. So we've got the 3 5-packs of the aquarium co-op stuff, and then we've also got these Zis brine shrimp, or what the, not the Zis brine shrimp hatcheries, those are over there, the Zis dials that come with the brine shrimp hatchery. But basically what these look like, not the Zis ones, the Zis you kind of just saw, but also it's just there for the tubing. This is what the, I'm just gonna go really close. It's really focusing on anything but right now. There we go. But basically it's just a little valve, and you can see that it's threaded, and it's got this like lever, and it's not like these, how it like slowly cricks down. That is kind of like a, not a ball valve, but a gate valve, I believe is what it is. And it's basically just a hole in the middle of the tube, and you rotate it. And the more you rotate it, the more it goes through, the less. Basically, I'm not gonna be rotating those at all. But they're nice, they're metal, and they're threaded, so I can thread them into the PVC manifold. But the beauty of them is that with that, I can screw it in and I can fine tune it, but I can also fine tune, and the reason I got so many of these is I can fine tune these down at the tank level. So basically what I can do is I can go in and I can go ahead and fine tune it at the tank and up top. Now, basically why that would be important is A, redundancy, don't pay attention to my pit stains, but A, redundancy, B, I don't want to have to climb on a ladder every single time, and I want the metal threads, but then down by the tank, I don't care if it's just the plastic one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm on lunch right now, and I'm going to go up and I'm going to drill 2 holes. and they're going to be for this brine shrimp hatchery, because for the next, I was gonna say 2 videos, but hey, let's just keep it going. I'm actually gonna be doing 3 things down in the area today, so there's gonna be 3 videos because I don't know when to stop apparently. But basically, I need to take the air pumps with me, so I'm going to take one of these air pumps, and then I'm going to take one of the charged air pumps, and I'm going to switch this air pump over there. So I'm going to go up there, and you need a 3/16 inch drill bit, and this is like a, I don't even know what brand it was. It was like $2 at Lowe's, thankfully. All the other ones were like $6. It's impact rated or whatever. I don't care. I'm drilling through PVC. I don't need a lot. But I'm gonna go up there, drill the 2 holes, run the lining, and then be able to get it down and take it from there. So then I'm gonna turn that on, and these brine shrimp might be on overdrive, to say the least. But we're gonna play with it, and of course I can adjust as necessary. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I'm gonna play with it a little bit. Okay, so I did the first one, and I figured I'd just do one, and then I'd troubleshoot everything on my own. But basically, I'm gonna plug this in, and once I plug this in, that should start bubbling. The one that's on the left. Oh my gosh. Now, it's bubbling something kind of fierce right now because it's the only thing, but it's working. It is, and don't pay attention to any of this. I had the air turned up a little bit too hard last night on accident, but it's working. It is actually freaking working. That is, oh, you guys have no clue how happy I am. All right, I'm gonna do the rest of these and yeah, get it all situated. And nearly a week later, we're done. So I'm gonna try and keep this brief because I don't want you guys to see, guys and gals and anything else, to see the next couple of videos. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip this around, but we've got the linear air piston pump hooked up to the manifold like you all have seen, and every single line is being taken from the top PVC, and this one you can kind of see the most just because it's from here, and we've got 2 lines and then another line to the bottom and then another 3 lines, so eventually it'll be 3, 1, 3. Those were the first 2 I did. I did them way too close to each other. They look kind of clean, but then I realized it needs to be a little bit further apart, and you can see like those ended up being further apart. That one's only 1, eventually that one's gonna be 3 as well. But we did go ahead and get another shipment in, and that other shipment allowed me to put a heater in this aquarium and another double stack. And yes, there's a lot of algae in this aquarium. It's fine. Algae is not bad for fish. There's a reason that there's algae in the real world, and especially because these things don't exactly do well with plants, especially because I'm doing hornwort in a lot of different tanks, and they eat up hornwort, as you may be able to see, yeah, from right there. There's actually one snacking on it right now, but that hornwort is destroyed. Also, the air stone that's in this tank is on again, so that's pretty cool. But you're gonna want to come back to check out, maybe I just showed it off a little bit there, and also the brine shrimp hatcheries are going again. But you're gonna want to come back to the next 3 episodes because we did get some pretty cool things, to say the least. But without further ado, I'm gonna let you all go. You better subscribe, you better like this video, you better come back for next week, because all I gotta say is the halo is multiplying. That's all I gotta say, is there's some good news for next episode. But until next time, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video.